All right, I think we are live. I don't know how many people are going to show up or whatever, but I know
All of
Fernando,
them.
you and I, as we already talked, like you and I have been meaning to do this for a while now, and I feel like just like in general, just catch up. But we do have some topics today. We're going to kind of run through those. Myself, Walt with Flower City Cards, Fernando with Future Sight Games, and we're going to be kind of just talking through a couple topics, the market, uh, general life updates. Fernando started sort of like a streaming channel and kind of taken that and kind of run with it. And gonna be interested to kind of pick your brain a little bit and what you've learned and all that good stuff. So yeah, without further ado, I don't know. I guess kind of just give a little intro about yourself, what you're doing, how long you've been in the space, all that good stuff.
So, we've been doing this. Guys, hi, my name's Fernando with Futuresightgames. We've been back into the hobby for about 2.5 years now, and I think that's about the time that I've known Walt. We've met through Eli's program, and that's kind of how we got connected here. And drawing, what drew me back to the space was just, hey, we have adult money now, and we want to enjoy the things that we wanted to enjoy as a kid. And so that's kind of the founding idea behind why I'm in the space now. But fast forward to today, now we're kind of doing the whole rip and ship thing, and we're trying to buy and sell product, and just trying to make a little bit more of a side hustle income. And so we started off. I think you and I both started off investing, and we were so drawn to the idea that these things appreciate over time and they always go up. And we can talk about that here in a bit of how my mentality on that subject has changed a bit. But yeah, guys, I'm just a normal dude who found himself wanting to be immersed in cardboard again at age 34. So
Love it.
yeah, man, absolutely,
I love it. Love it, man. Yeah, thanks for coming on the channel. I know you and
no
I have
problem.
have both been just super busy with just like life, right? Like I
Right.
got married end of last year. You have a wedding coming up if I
I
don't
I I do, bro. I do. So after 9 years, I decided, you know what? She's
yeah.
proven herself. She's proven herself, and
There
we're
you go.
gonna we're gonna try and get. I keep saying we're gonna try, but like as time goes on, I'm noticing that we're finalizing a lot of these plans. So
Yeah.
November, first week of November, we're gonna tie the knot. I've been with her for 9 years, living together for three. I love her. She's basically my wife. Nobody's gonna tell me otherwise. But we gotta put a stamp on it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and keep
Absolutely.
everybody else happy.
Absolutely.
And yeah, hopefully. I
Yeah.
think, man, it's been this long. Do you have children? I forget, dude.
No, no, no.
You don't have children?
So no, no children in the picture yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, we got married last October 18th. So we're not going to be far off if you're getting married in the first week in November
Yeah,
this
man.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be awesome to have some little one. Like, I tell you this much, like 2.5 years ago, I don't know how I would have felt about kids, but now I have a nephew who's almost 3, and I want more of that, dude. I want more time with
Yeah.
him. And so it's just I'm thinking baby fever is upon us. Coming from a man, so that's kinda, I mean,
Yeah.
things change over time. So yeah, that's where we're at
They
too.
definitely change. A lot of my friends, like I'm the same age, right? And a lot of my friends are getting to that age, like they're starting to have kids, and that's part of life. That's the that's the plan. So yeah, it's exciting. It's
Absolutely. I can't wait. I can't wait for you, man. That's I think you're gonna be a great dad.
yeah, yeah. Thanks, man. Same to you.
Yeah, no
But
problem.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
I
It's
see.
just I don't know. Life has been crazy, and we just haven't been able to make this happen. And I'm glad we have. But yeah, we
Yeah.
like and for those watching, a little bit about myself and Walt Flower City Cards. If you've seen any of my content, you know a little bit probably about me. I've been in this since 2019, so in November of this year, it's going to be 7 years, which is kind of crazy. And yeah, met Fernando
That's
through a
wild.
wholesale program. Yeah, yeah, and we just
Wow.
kind of hit it off, and we were doing a lot of the same stuff. And I think what drew you in is kind of what drew me in, is just like it was actually Thanksgiving weekend, and we were home and found a couple of the cards from when I was growing up, and I didn't know anything about them. We were mostly just going through my dad's baseball card collection, and I was like, oh, these probably, they're probably not worth anything. Kind of went to go sell them, and then I got flooded with like messages and stuff. So that's when I was like, oh, I got to like look into this a little bit. And then, fast forward, I got into like more of the modern stuff after taking the dive into the vintage, and it's been pretty crazy, to say the least. Like the opportunities, we were just talking before going live, and like the amount of opportunities that have kind of just presented themselves just like by being here and being present, and like being active in the community and continuing to build relationships in your brand and what you're doing. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild, man. I would have never, I don't know. I would have never guessed this would be in my future. If you asked me like 10 years ago, it's just insane to say out loud.
It is pretty crazy because I remember when you first started, it was just like, oh, I'm trying to do this, trying to do that, and every so I feel like it was like maybe once a month or once every couple of months would be like, hey, sanity check, like, how are you doing? And then it's like, hey man, I'm looking for this. You're like, oh, well, check out this, and I look through the page and the website you got going on. I'm like, oh my god, like. There's growth here. Like it's different. The website's different. There's more resources available, and I'm thinking like, did this, like, he built all this. This is pretty cool to see, like, from day one, like up to now. And so, like, I mean, yeah, dude, it's just insane. I wouldn't have thought, and like to where I'm at now too. I wouldn't have thought I'd be anywhere like at this point, enjoying talking to people about cards. And I think for me, it's meeting. Just meeting interesting people in this space. That's another cool thing. I mean, I'm a little bit of a chatterbox and a social butterfly, and so that's been some of my favorite parts about this whole thing too. So, I mean, congrats to you on the growth, bro. Let me just say that, I guess.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. Cool. Honestly, same to you, man. I've been poking around and watching the live streams and stuff, and
yeah,
I did I did this, and I don't like go around telling people this, but I did like a little like 1 hour consultation with somebody who's like pretty big in the space, and I just wanted some different perspective on just everything, right? Like it's one thing to kind of have a conversation with people, but like it's another thing to really dive into the numbers with someone who's doing things at a high level. And we were I don't know, we were kind of just talking through everything, and it's just crazy to see like what, I guess, opportunities there are. And yeah, I don't know. I guess I was looking at your streaming stuff, and one of the things we talked about is like easily by far like best margins, best like time investment, that kind of thing, depending on how you look at it, and the shipping time, if you consider that, right, is streaming.
Yeah.
And like I know that you're really starting to take that forward, and that's something that I haven't really started to look at or really even started to dabble in at all. I think one of the things for me, as somebody that's not in it, I think what I'm worried about is like the time aspect of it, even though I know it could definitely benefit me in the future. So like, I don't know, what was it for you with the streaming stuff that kind of took you, like, at what point did you say like, I'm just going to go for it, I'm going to do it, like this is for me, I want to give it a try?
It's definitely tough. It's definitely tough, especially during those like initially when you have those streams that are just dead, and you're like, what am I doing? Like nobody's in here. There's no audience. So one of the things I did at first was I started streaming on Twitch, and I was streaming Smash Brothers because I love that game, and that's one of the I'm not great at games by any means, but Smash, like I'll put the house on it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like that, we can run, like, hey, if we're gonna fight, how about we smash instead? You know what I mean? Like let's that's something that I will toot my own horn on. And so I started playing that and streaming that, and I was having fun. And I'm the type of person, I think it also takes like a special It may or may not, but this is what works for me just because of the type of person that I am. Like I laugh at the dumbest things. I can laugh at myself. I like when I'm nervous, I laugh. And so I'm a big believer that laughter is infectious. So I think that's what helped me. So as I'm playing the game and people are joining in on the stream because they want to play with you and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I'm down. Like we're playing game. Like this is great. And we're having a good time and we're laughing and having fun and I'm thinking I'm drawn to that. So it's almost like when you think like, oh, this is possible, this is a good evening, like let's have more of these moments.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so naturally, we're both engineers, so we overanalyze the shit out of everything.
Yep.
Excuse the language. And so I'm thinking like, man, how do we get to where we're not doing the day job all the time, or what's a good way to supplement the income and stuff? And so you ask about what it took for me to just say, you know what, do it. I'm just gonna do it. I mean, I have a good amount of friends, supportive friends in the space as well, who say, like, why don't you just do it? You're like you'd be a natural at it. I mean, just you seem like you're comfortable on camera, and that's ultimately that's what it is. If you're comfortable on camera, just do it. Like, and you say that you haven't taken streaming, um, like you haven't really dove into that. I mean, you're starting to do like videos and stuff. Like I hit a wall when it comes to content, and I know that's a barrier for me. Like that's something that I just need to get over and put out. And I can't, dude. I struggle with it so hard to just find the time to gather my thoughts, and I'm not the most articulate person either. So
Hmm,
that's really hard for me to do. So
I think you're
it's
pretty
very
articulate. I think you might sell yourself.
I I'm nervous as shit right now, so don't let that fool you. But
Yeah. No, I get
it
it. I
it's
get it.
definitely
Yeah.
challenging, man. It's definitely challenging. I think it takes the right I think it takes the right attitude, and you just have to not let yourself get psyched out and say, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it consistently, and I'm gonna take each failure as a learning lesson, and that's just how I think that's just how you find success in that space.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And that was kind of like, and I'm, to that point of with like the videos, I guess like that's a good comparison. I by no means feel like that is has even like made the business part of this successful at all, but it's definitely shown me that you truly got to be consistent. And even we're approaching like 250 followers. It's like that's to me that's kind of a big deal because it's I know what kind of consistency you have to kind of put forward just to get there, especially if you're not
Yeah.
great at like the making the content part of things. Like I don't edit any of the videos, and I know that like so many other people on here, like I know like DJ's Poke Center's on here that do live streams like every day. Like there's so many other people on here that are just like putting forth so much more effort, and like they have better content, better product and what they're delivering. So it's like just being
Yeah.
consistent is going to help you over time. It might not be the rate at which you would love, but like, you know, I don't want to say garbage in, garbage out because I don't think what I'm putting out there is garbage, but the quality and the effort you put in is what you're going to get out of it. So,
Absolutely. And like I too was kind of hung up on the whole production quality of the videos, but I think just based on feedback, I think as long as you can speak confidently to the topic and you don't necessarily sound horrible, like just sound quality, I think that's enough. I think the dog's barking. I think you can reach I think you can reach the audience just fine. And I think that's what matters most, because maybe that's who you want listening to you anyway, right?
yeah.
Um, is people who are actually listening to what you have to say instead of just like taking things out of context and whatnot. Because there's a lot of that shit that goes on in this space too, as I'm sure you know. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. There can definitely be their fair share. It's fair share drama in the space. If you don't, excuse me, if you don't like preface things and kind of, explain where you're coming from. So, um, but yeah, so as far, I guess going back to the live streaming, right? So
Sure.
Do you feel, I guess, like how long have you been doing it for? How often do you do it? Like, walk me through kind of like, that, I don't know, some of the details if you don't mind sharing.
No, that's fine. So like we talk about consistency, and even I'm not the most consistent at this. There are things that I absolutely need to tighten up. But as far as the schedule, now we're finding out what works for us. So for me and for the lady, because there's a little bit of proof of concept that has to come forth so that you can get their buy-in on. Uh, so now we do Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and then maybe an occasional weekend day. And so my problem is I don't really advertise that, which I should. Like scheduling the videos, putting that on Twitch, putting that on, the reminders on YouTube. Like those are little things that are already built into those systems that I think you should take advantage of. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
because I'm just all over the place. But that's kind of what I try to do is go like 3 times a week. And for now, and then we go for anywhere between like 1, 2, and it depends. Like when the iron's hot, you
Mhm.
don't want to leave.
Yeah,
So anywhere between 1 to 3 hours. But you talk about valuing your time, and that's I think early on that's something you have to just kind of grind out and just say like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna run the camera for an hour. I'm gonna talk to myself. I'm gonna try to be productive during the stream. And just try your best, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And if nothing happens for like a good, like I've now developed rules of thumb. So like if nothing happens for a good 15, 20, 30 minutes, and I don't necessarily check how many viewers we have anymore because that just kind of psychs me out.
hmm,
So it's because there are lurkers, people who just they you might have like secret fans, like people who just come in, they like your stuff, and they won't say anything until the very end. They're like, "Oh, bye, see you later," and you're like, "What?" Like, where were you the whole time? Say hi. So some people are kind of reserved about that, but yeah, like if you don't see any activity for like 20, 30 minutes, then you just say, hey guys, all right, I think we're going to call it. It's a little slower and I got stuff to do or whatever. And you just go about your day and you take that stream as a win because it's like you put, um, so when I do that, it makes me feel like, no, like we have a system in place, yet nothing happened, but we reached our limit. So I don't necessarily think of it as a waste of time if we're doing that
sure.
on a consistent basis.
Okay.
But as far as how long we've been doing it, like I think I couldn't. Man, I'm bad. I couldn't tell you when we started, but I think last time I checked my YouTube studio content thing, I think we had like 60 videos. So
Oh,
if we're
that's
saying
pretty
three
good.
times, if we're saying 3 times a week, and I think it's really like 2 times a week, so we'll say 60 divided by two. That's 30 weeks divided by what, four?
So roughly
That
half a
doesn't
year.
seem right. Maybe 6 months. Yeah, we'll say 6 months off and on is how long we've been doing this, which is, it's still very, very early.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I think that could be, like the viewership and all that too could be improved by actually putting out content and putting out videos. But like I said before, it's just a barrier for me. It's so much. It's a wall. It's a wall that I'm trying to get over, man. It's been tough.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to ask you that question is like how like what like you asked me what drove me to do the streaming stuff, like what pushed you to just say, you know what, I'm just gonna record in the car and get these thoughts out and I don't care, and I hope that they're just good thoughts. Like what pushed you to just push it out there?
I think, when you and I talked about this, but one of my goals for 2026 was just to try to post at least once a week. So not let more than like 7 days go by. I've already broken that. but um but uh I think if you look at the total number of videos I've posted, I think it's like, and then divide that by the number of weeks, I think I'm still getting more than like a video for every 7 days. So I think I'm trying to make up for it, but I think it was just a goal, right? And like
Mm-hmm.
I've seen, I guess like it's all kind of tied to the belief I have in like what I'm doing and like the supply network and the program and stuff and FCC, and I want to see this do well long term, and I want to see things kind of continue to be organic and not like, you know, almost like I'm not like pulling things along and pulling things to be successful. And I want things to be built around people who really get it and understand like, hey, this is a guy who understands like volume is really everything. If you don't have product, you don't have a business, you can't operate, you can't have customers, right? So like all of that is kind of tied together. And you know, the from everything I've seen, having a presence on YouTube or whatever, right? There's a lot of people, and myself included, who go down these rabbit holes and just like they just watch all the content. They understand every nook and cranny of the internet when it comes to like this investing space, this Pokemon TCG space, and um, it's a way that you can be found, and it's something that isn't just going to happen unless you start, because you can't like you're not just going to blow up overnight. From everything that I've heard from people, right? My this is not my own experience. This is just I was kind of listening to other people, and like even people like Dan Ketchum Collectibles, right? I don't know if you've seen his content, but you know,
Yeah, I've seen some stuff.
if anybody in this space is serious about doing anything business related at all, like the fact that if somebody doesn't take the time to watch like his videos on like tax and like just starting up a business and like how to like all like the basics and you know just how he kind of approaches finance and stuff, like there's and if you look at like the size of his channel, like it's not that super big, but like he has people who watch him that really get it and who probably operate at a similar level, not a similar level to him, but like they're kind of like us, like, hey, there are other people who want similar things. They want, like we talked about, like financial freedom earlier in life, right? Like those are the types of people you want to attract, right? So by getting yourself out there consistently and, you know, putting out a message that makes sense, right? Not just clickbaity, right? Like you got to have a little bit of clickbaitiness and like the title and stuff, and you got to kind of tie that all in, which has been also difficult too. Like you have to have like a certain level of creativity and learn how to do that. But like if you can provide a good message and a good product, I feel like eventually those people will kind of come, and like maybe you'll learn something from those people too, and you make connections, and I don't know. So I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but yeah, I don't know. This was just at the end of the day, it was really just a goal for 2026 that I wanted to really start this snowball and start to get this out there.
No, that's cool. I mean, I can make goals all day long, and I still won't follow through. So I commend you on that, man. Like, I think it's working out great for you.
Yeah,
It's
thanks, man.
man, I'm telling you, it's just
You're
so
not the
tough
only one
doing
though.
it.
You're not alone, man.
Yeah, no,
Not
I feel you
alone.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got some
Yeah.
comments in here.
So
Double
yeah,
books. Hi guys. Hello, man.
Booster Boy cards. What's up, Nick? What's up, DJ? Tino HC. Somebody's upset about fake booster boxes, which is always going to be here. And then double books. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining. Thanks for engaging. It all helps. Um, yes, we had a couple notes. So like obviously you're doing the streaming thing. We talked a little bit about the way that you're kind of shifting away from
Mm,
treating this more like investment and more churn and burn. Um,
yeah,
let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about that.
sure. Uh, so my, hmm. So I reached a point where I started thinking like, and it's not that bad of a hindrance, but you know, you have a closet full of stuff, and then just one day you're like, man, that's a lot of stuff. Now I have to make some room, and it's not like oh, like where am I gonna put this stuff? But it's just an observation that I made. I'm like, you know, this is a lot of stuff, and I'm continuing to buy each of the newest box and stuff. And so at a certain point, I started watching more POV content on the vendor side of things.
Okay.
And I just thought like, man, like what's the overall goal for me? and we talk about, you know, obtaining financial freedom a little bit earlier. And I think a trap that maybe people fall into is that investing is the right play for them, and it just depends on what their goals are. So one thing that came up, and I know you have personal experience with this, is so you know, wedding and wedding expenses, and you're like,
Yep.
this, and I wanted, and just you know, I wanted to handle the expenses myself. That's just how I wanted to do things. I know families contribute and stuff. I said no, screw that, because then everybody wants an opinion, or is entitled to an opinion. So I was like, no, we're not doing that. So that was kind of a small goal I had for myself, and I'm thinking, you know, like, you're thinking, okay, you know, a few $1,000s, like 10, 20, 30, however expensive your wedding wants to be, and you're thinking like, well, there's a closet full of stuff that has been kind of just out of sight, out of mind. And we start looking into it, and you're like, man, this stuff really has appreciated. And I've only been in the space for 2.5 years, so we're fortunate to be in a time where everything is just like, bro, like, you know, booming.
Mhm.
So the first thing I did, it was like ripping a band-aid off, was man, I don't even remember what it was exactly that I sold. But when I sold it, it felt good. And I was like, no, I'm not going to experience FOMO because I won. I won by selling something at a higher price than what I paid for.
Mhm.
And now we can do that to pay for things that are upcoming, that are important, like a wedding. And so all of that led me to this new, you know, ideology that it's like, dude, if the goal is to earn more and maybe even supplement stuff, like, you don't like you maybe investing's not the way. Maybe you just sell some and keep some, right? So I would get all these cases. Like Perfect Order is a good example. Like I usually just throw the case in the closet. As soon as this case came in, I immediately put it on the site, and we sold like 3 boxes. I took some to a show. We sold it. You know, we bought them for, we got them for like, you know, 105, 110 a box. And we
Mhm.
sold them to a buddy for like 180, and I don't care anymore. Like, a win is a win. Let's
Yep.
do that multiple times. And at the end of the day, like, you took profit, like you won. So you know, I've started to shift more into the let's sell this stuff, because maybe we don't want to wait. You know, who knows what's going to happen in, you know, 5, 10, however long the timeline is. Like, are you even going to be, like, not to be all dark, but are you going to be alive to sell it in 10, 15 years? Like what are we doing? You know, let's just, if the goal is to retire early, well, then let's bust ass and do that now. And
Yeah.
that's just my opinion. That's just my new strategy on taking all of this on. And at the end of the day, if you can buy things at a percentage of market and, you know, sell it for that, you know, that difference in margin, well, then you won. And the name of the game in this space has always been volume. So
Yeah.
yeah, you know, just play a little harder, and see how far you go. And if I'm wrong, well, then we're wrong. But we have some stuff that we're probably gonna keep for a long time, like the PC ETBs of 151. Like that's that's good. That looks really good right now. There are some things um that are like the safety net, like some Crown Zenith ETBs, 151 stuff, Lost Origin case, sealed Lost Origin case. I sold a couple boxes of Lost Origin at a show. Um, and I think we went in there with a few sealed products, and we left with 2 grand and some Ditto cards for the lady, and we felt good about it.
Yeah.
So that has helped me shift gears a little bit. Just
Yeah.
seeing the profits real hand, and really, dude, like, when something blows up that much, like, you'll see stuff start to stagnate, as I'm sure you've seen. And you're
Hmm.
like, yeah, you know what, let's just redeploy this now. If anything else, let's redeploy the money now. Like, I'm
For
paying
sure.
for a wedding, but if I wasn't, I'd be redeploying it into packs for the rip and chips and trying to snowball that, so that we can make as much, you know, supplemental cash as possible to just reach financial freedom early. And I
Yeah.
think all that is what has led me into this new way of thinking.
Yeah.
Might not work for everybody, but it's working for me right now.
Yeah. That's good.
It's keeping me out of the hoarding So like the
Yeah,
hoarding phase, because that becomes real too.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I feel like if I could get to a point where it's a balance between that mindset where it's like, okay, we need to be taking profits, but also taking that money and putting it right back in. Like I'm not like yes, you're gonna have stuff. So for example, like we had an offer accepted on a home, right? So I'm getting ready for that, right? There was a whole bunch of like I would say like more ancillary stuff that I was like, you know what? I don't I don't know why I have this stuff. Like, and I think in the back of my mind, I always kind of knew I was going to be, I knew in the back of my mind, like, this is not like S tier, A tier type products. These need to eventually go. Right. And they've already
Sure.
2x, 3x. It's like, all right, what are we waiting for? Right. If not now, when? And, I
Right.
guess like, having an offer accepted on a home and then, the stress that comes with that, right? It's like, okay, we want to be prepared. We want to be ready for whatever comes up, right? Because you just don't know what you don't know. Houses are money pits. I've owned one before. And, the last time I kind of, the last time I kind of got to a point, um, where I was like, you know what, I ripped the band-aid off, like you said. I ripped the band-aid off. That's like, I think psychologically the perfect expression to describe it because you get so attached to these things and it's just cardboard, right? And like I say that lightly because like yes, we love the IP, we love the hobby, like we love these cards, right? But at the end of the day, you can't take it to the grave with you, right? So you
Exactly.
know,
Exactly.
but
No,
the
I do. Trust me. I understand. Like, it sounds like you want to keep this stuff forever, and it's just, it almost sounds like you're enabling yourself. And at some point, somebody, the right mind or the right voice has to tell you, like, hey, man, like, what are you doing? Come on now. Like you have, like, cause somebody like me and you, like we have an established career, and there's the 401k, and there's all these other things, and you're just like, I get it, you know, like this is kind of one of those things, but at the end of the day, like, what are we doing?
yeah,
And that's not to say I don't believe in
mhm,
in the growth and stuff, but it's like when it's like right there, and it's not like stocks. Like a lot of people say this, that like it's not like stocks where you can just engage in the trade like immediately. Like, so just a short story, like, yes, I sold that Lost Origin box, but it
mhm.
was at a percentage, and I had to schmooze like some, and like I take a little bit of pride in being a personable person, and being able to be easily approachable and like happy go lucky and stuff like that. So I had to work the salesmanship. um and at the end of the day, I didn't think I was going to sell it until somebody was like, you know what, this is a good deal. You're right. It's a good deal. I'll give you what you're asking for it. And so even then, I guess that's just to say that it can take a little bit of work to sell this stuff. Granted, you could list it on eBay or send it off to Propstein or whatever, but I'm saying like there's still a little bit there. There's something there that's different from selling your stock or whatever. It's
Oh
not
yeah,
instant.
a hundred
It's not
percent.
the
I've
same.
I've always, I I usually this kind of stuff comes up with my family, like my brother, my father, my sister's boyfriend, like, we're talking and it comes up over, bourbon or something. And I tell them like I tell them, like, yes, on paper it might say $100, but in reality, like it's only worth what the liquidity is, right? Like that's the reality of it. And
Right.
that's what a lot of people don't understand, right? There's so many nuances to this space, and I could see why a lot of people right now, like it's just a mass movement up, and a lot of just it is a lot of stupidity right now. A lot of people are throwing a lot of money around and they're making a lot of money, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're making the right decisions. And you have
Absolutely.
to protect yourself. You have to understand what your downside is. And, I just get worried, people are throwing around you know, $150 for Ascended Heroes ETBs, and I'm just eh. Like I understand it's an amazing set and everything, but to me, we just saw what happened with prismatic ETBs. They dropped all the way down to like 150s. Like you could probably even get them for cheaper depending on where you looked. I want to wait for the huge dump in 12 months, 18 months of Ascended Heroes, which we know inevitably is probably going to happen, right? Like that's what I'm waiting for. I don't know.
I mean, see, like now we got some takes happening, and dude, like you just never know what's gonna happen. I feel like
100%.
specialty sets probably have a better chance for sure, but like something like Destined Rivals, like I'm fortunate to have a sealed case of that. But I
Same.
mean, gosh,
Same. I
man,
got one sealed case.
like just look at that. I'm not gonna lie. This takes me back to when we had Surging Sparks boxes, and I was able to get and Surging Sparks was around the time that
I am gonna do this while you're
the
talking.
the insanity. No, that's fine. The insanity was happening right around Surging Sparks, around Twilight Masquerade. So I got my Eli case, and there was some people in that same Discord. They were like, "Oh hey, like I know I seen you in this Discord or whatever. Like if anybody wants a case, like my card shop is doing it for wholesale basically." And I snatched that up. So like I snatched it up, and then like 3 weeks later we sold it for like $1,500 on TCG Player. So I'm like, dude, with the way that Destined Rivals is right now, I'm thinking, man, bro, in what world do you not just flip it? We pay, anywhere between 650, 675. Just depends on shipping. You know how it is.
Sure.
And the case is going for, what's the case going for now? 36?
Yeah.
Okay, a little bit
they're
less.
actively going for, last sold was 36, a couple 36s. And it's going up quick. There is one list. Okay, that's just a pre-release kit. I hate when people do that.
Oh, I hate it too, dude. It just throws the data off so bad.
I mean, it's selling for $600. It's selling for $600 a box in a case. Like that's I'm gonna be honest. I only have one. Right. I've only got one case of Destined Rivals. Like it's not like I'm looking up this every day, but this is pretty wild. I gotta say. Like this.
No, it's insane, bro. It's insane.
Crazy. It was
And
a
so
week.
like that's
What is this? Y'all remember the crash months ago? Maybe late last year. It lasted a week, but it was on Facebook. Watching people find out the hard way you can't liquidate an entire steel collection in an afternoon. Yeah, it was. It was like October, November. It's
right.
Typically, I guess, like it's typically like there's always some kind of like a little correction that coincides with like the colder like holiday months. And I don't know if that's just a function of like people are directing their funds to just like other things like gifts and other stuff. But yes, I do remember that. It happens like every year, like bull market, bear market. But yeah,
I mean,
if anybody wants to liquidate their collection for 60%, I'll buy.
Yeah, no, and that might be, like people trying to get funds together for, I don't know, Black Friday or holiday shopping. Like you just never know like what the situation warrants. But I think people don't understand that little corrections are happening all the time. I'm trying to open this apple, dude. I'm hungry. There we go.
Yeah, I ate like right before, like I came home, went to the gym, came back, made food, and then I just I had to answer like supply network messages, get like orders placed and stuff, and then around that time it was like 7:30 and I was getting ready. But,
bro, you sound like Alex. Alex, like I chat with him every day. And he's like, "Hey, bro, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, dude, just Gotta answer these emails. I got some consultation calls. I gotta go meet with my suppliers, and this is that. But you have an actual like job on top of all of this, so and you make
Yeah.
time to go to the gym. That's wild.
Well, trying to. I'm not as good as I should. I should be. And the problem is I like food, so it's like it's a double whammy. But
Yeah, yeah.
um
I feel you.
yeah, it's yeah. But I was good. I was good last week. Like we had like a week where I wasn't so good, and then last week I was there like 4 times. So like this week I'm trying to be consistent. Like I'm trying to do like upper body every 3 days, and then I'm trying to get like cardio in at least 2 or 3 times a week. So just it's hard, man. As we get older, it's gonna be harder and harder to
Yeah,
maintain.
especially when you have kids and you want to be fit enough to chase them around and stuff. Like
I know,
it's
I
crazy.
know. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's it's crazy times though. We and I'll get into this a little bit. I know because you were talking a little bit about the vendor POV stuff. Oh, looks like is that a what is that?
Damn
Is
it,
that a
this camera
gala?
sucks. No, it's an envy. Envy.
Oh,
Man,
okay.
look at that. The
Not a
contrast on this
Honeycrisp.
camera is crazy. No, so I used to like. I'll tell you what apple I hate. Go, Red Delicious. Like, no, those are just so.
No, I don't. I don't do the Red Delicious. I eat an apple a day though. By the way,
Oh wow! Like
every
we
morning.
buy apples all the time, and they just go bad. And I don't. It's not that I hate apples. I'm just like, I don't know what. I'll grab oranges. Oddly enough, I'll grab oranges every day, and that's more work than eating an apple. I don't, and I think I even like apples more than I like oranges. But I don't know, something about grabbing the oranges like does it for me. But I
Yeah.
like envy apples. I like golden delicious. I like those.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
what's it's galas are good. I don't like the pink ladies ones. The one like
No.
I like sweet. I don't like sour. I like
Yep.
sweet.
I like it like I like a nice. Obviously, I like it when it's apple season. Like it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough like right now because like none of the apples are like fall northeast apple. Like it's just not the same. But yeah, it's like every morning I walk out the door. It's like a habit for me now. I will eat the
Mm-hmm.
apple in the car on the way to work. So it's like
Yeah.
ingrained in me every day. Like I'm eating an apple. So we never like apples are the one thing like we never waste apples or eggs. We eat a lot of eggs too.
Oh,
Like
okay.
apples and eggs. Yeah, but
One thing I like that we just figured out. So grapes, bro. Like I feel like grapes go so hard, especially like so you're not supposed to wash your grapes immediately because that makes
really,
them all soggy and nasty. Yeah. So I figured out that if they're in the bag in the fridge, wash what you're about to eat, and they stay crisp. They stay like they pop and they're hard and they're crisp, and those are like the best grapes ever. Like so,
huh.
once I figured that, and I think the same applies to strawberries. Once I figured that out, I'm like, oh my god, this is so good. So if you didn't know that, try that trick out if you like grapes. Grapes go hard.
I, dude, I like all fruit. The problem is I don't eat enough of it. Like I'm just I'm just like a protein meat guy. Like I'll eat like a couple salads a week, but I don't
I
know,
didn't want to
man.
make you feel weird. I didn't want to make you feel weird, but like I don't know if the camera is doing it for you, but you're looking kind of swole these days, man.
Got to lose some
I'll
weight.
see you. I'll see you in like the videos where you have the nice collared shirt and the tag at the table. You're like, all right, hi guys, blah blah blah. I was like, dude, this dude is yoked. Good for you, man. Good for you. I could never do like, so we stick to the typical Mexican cultural dishes, the beans, rice, tortillas, and all that stuff. So man, I'll probably stay a little chunker, man. It is what it is. As long as like the blood pressure's down and the cholesterol levels are all good, I think, and we run a little bit, so I think we'll be okay. But man, yeah, not like I wish I could stay dedicated to one of those diets, dude. I can't. I just can't.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Like I don't know who it was. I think it was Patty. I don't know if anybody watches like UFC. I'm not like a massive UFC guy, but I think he's like I'd rather be fat and happy than skinny
Oh
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
jacked or something. And like that's so true. That's so true. As long as you're
Yeah,
like
dude.
healthy, as long as you're still like healthy and you're not like letting yourself really go, but like yeah, yeah. Anyways, I feel I know we're getting off topic, but
No, this is good. This is all good, man. I told you, like, I'm very like, I don't know, man. I'm just very off the cuff. I just say whatever comes to mind, and I think it comes off as genuine, and people like that stuff, you know. So I'm just like, I'm not afraid to be goofy at all by any means.
somebody was asking, are you focused more on Pokemon or Magic?
Interesting. So now it's more Pokemon for sure with the whole rip and ships and stuff. But when I started, I was buying commander decks and breaking them down to sell singles on TCG Player, and we grinded to level 4, and now we have like 1,500 sales on the on the on TCG
TCG
Player,
player.
and that
Yeah.
and that's all me. It's tough. And there's still, like, to this day, like, I haven't added any new inventory, and I'm still getting sales every day, and I'm like, I mean, every order counts, and we have a floor. Dude, I think I just ate the sticker. I think I was chewing on the sticker for so long. So, we set a floor price, and the shipping, we make a little bit off the shippings. Most people order just one. 1 to 4 cards is definitely the sweet spot. And we've bought commander decks that are, now I hold them sealed, because early on I figured out that there's the dynamic that happens with Pokemon. Like, sealed product goes up over time as it gets rotated out of
Hmm.
so from supply, distribution, things go up. And so I've had things in the closet that I'm like, oh yeah, I did buy that. What's that going for? And it's like, a case of 4 unique decks would be like, I don't know, like 125. And there'll be months go by, and one deck in the box is worth like 125, 150. And so you're like, oh gosh, like, yeah, I gotta sell that.
Jeez.
um so right now, oh, so he says he's a vendor, an MTG vendor. Like, yeah, it is kind of tough, and that's why I've kind of backed off. So what I intend to do with Magic is, I haven't bought into the new set. I play more Magic than anything nowadays. That's also what got me into the whole selling. So at least I can build my decks for free if I work hard enough at selling Magic. So now we just have all these commander decks, like the Lost Caverns of Ixalan decks. If you're a vendor, I think you know how much that Velociraptor deck will probably be in the future. That'll pay for the case itself. Bloomburrow, we have, like, I don't know, dude, like at least 30 decks of Bloomburrow, 30 decks of Lost Caverns of Ixalan. We have a case of Innistrad Remastered. A secret lair is like the biggest thing for me, is buying and holding on to secret lairs, because that's basically like another thing that, like, secret layers usually appreciate from anywhere from like a year and a half, just because it's exclusive art and sometimes exclusive cards. So can keep those to save my life. Which ones? The Exelon
Probably the,
decks?
probably the secret lair, maybe.
Maybe the this dog. He just busted my door open. Hey man, get out of here. Go. Come on now. My guys, give me 1 sec. Hey, dog.
Oh man.
Come on now.
Yeah, I have not gotten into I have not gotten into the Magic scene. It's basically just 99% Pokemon for me, and then the occasional member will not take product, or I'll get basically stuck with something that, like, there's a bundle or something, like random bundle that comes through, and it basically just sits in my basement until I rebundle it out. And yeah, so I don't I have zero Magic, and that's probably not something I'm going to be looking to get into, uh, even in the near future. Um, I feel like there's just too much there's just too much involvement in Pokemon. I feel like there's too much opportunity there. Not saying that there's not opportunity in Magic, but it's just I don't know. It's hard for me to like set aside and dedicate capital to Magic when it's I feel like there's just not enough for Pokemon to go around. So yeah, it looks like Double Book started in Pokemon and now in mainly Magic till you get the card mill or the sifter. I think yeah, I've got a card mill coming too.
Oh,
Um, I joined in. Somebody in our Discord was able to get all of us a um, like a discounted price through the Kickstarter. So definitely looking forward to that coming. I think it's coming later this year, actually, in like November, December. So that'll be good to have. That's definitely something like I want to get back into too. Is like buying up collections, kind of getting them sorted, and then getting them back onto TCG Player. We have probably not listed anything for a good year on TCG Player up till this point. So, Pokedip, how you doing? Welcome. But yeah, it's crazy out there, guys. You know, we're booming. We are booming, and you know the opportunities are endless. That's all I'll say. Uh, you know, I know I made a video on this, and I know like when Fernando gets back, we could kind of talk about this and segue into this. But you know, my wife and I went to a card show in Syracuse. Um, it wasn't was it last weekend? No, it wasn't last weekend. It was 2 weekends ago, and we um we uh we went to Syracuse. Weren't sure it was called I think PokeFest on Saturday, and then they had like Collecticon or something on Sunday. We only went to the Saturday one, um, but we ended up going to our first card show in
I'm back.
Syracuse.
Sorry.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, I was just getting into kind of the next thing. Like we were talking about, like you were talking about vending POV, and you know, my wife and I went to our first card show 2 weeks ago on Saturday, and I'll be honest, I was like pretty blown away. It was overwhelming at first. Like we were just like, all right, we just want to walk around and just like see what people have, see what people have like pricing things at. We showed up like I've had a whole bunch of like I would say like more vintagey, like moderately played, lightly played cards forever that I was like, I'm just gonna bring these, I'm gonna price them out before we go, and then you know, we'll trade them into some sealed product, we'll trade them into stuff we want, whatever. Like we moved probably 70 to 80% of it. Um like into some like decent sealed product too. Which
Nice.
like later we stayed at the casino because this was for my birthday. She got us a room and we ended up opening like a tech sticker case of like Ascended Heroes. We opened up like a 151 booster bundle. Like we kind of splurged a little bit, but it was all with like, you know, the funds that we got from like trading in these cards that have just been kind of sitting there for a while. So it was kind of like, you know, let's go have some fun with it. We'll learn along the way. We'll see kind of what it's about. Dude, there was and I actually Dan Catch'em Collectibles was there, PK was there, like got to meet those guys. And like they said, like when the doors opened, it was like 50 vendors. They said when the doors opened, 2,000 people walked through the doors. Like
Bro.
and they said it was, I think PK said it was better foot traffic than like a Collecticon. And I have no frame of reference, right? I don't know. I've never been to a Collecticon. This is my first show, but I really hope that's not the case because if I'm starting out with like the best, one of the best shows, it's going to be all downhill from there. So,
Yeah.
but
I mean, yeah. So the show that we went to that I just came back from was called NTX, and I think they mainly work in Texas and a little bit of North Oklahoma, of Oklahoma. So that was cool. But I've also been to a Collecticon when they come through, and they stop they stop twice in DFW. Collecticon does, but then they also do Houston and San Antonio sometimes too. So they, bro, they're big. Like it's not like Collecticon was definitely bigger than NTX. It's definitely crowded for sure. And now that I think about it, yeah, so we were able to we were able to get in VIP through Will, Dr. Applesauce, if you know who that is.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I do know
Yeah,
who that
so
is.
Alex is good friends with Will, so Will was able to get us through, and we were able to get there early and stuff. But the line, dude, the line was wrapped around the actual like convention center, exhibit hall, whatever you want to call. So like, dude, no, it gets wild and stacked out there, dude. It's crazy. So, I mean, if you're saying 2,000 people, like, I would imagine that's damn near a Collecticon.
Yeah, it was overwhelming. Like I have to believe the amount of money that was transacted there was in the millions, like throughout the day. Like it had to have been, like it had to have been in the millions. And like me and her, like we were driving away, and I just looked to her and I was just like, so what did you think? like like it's overwhelming. Like there's so like and for me, I'm sitting there and I'm just like I'm watching these vendors, right? And they're bringing sealed product, they're bringing slabs, they're bringing this, they're bringing that, and they're all priced at like 100, 110%. And people are walking up and just buying them, right? Like cash, Venmo, Zelle, uh everything, right? And there's a lot of this, like, and they got a sign behind them and they're saying, hey, we're taking trades for whatever you want at 70, 80%, 85%. So it's like, and you're and if you're taking trades for product that's like already priced at market or above, it's like you could make a killing. Like if you come with 100 grand in product, you might be leaving with 150 in equivalent product and or cash, right? Like I think some people were just like making a killing at these things, man. There's just so much opportunity, and that was one of the other things too. It's like, going as somebody who's kind of walking through is a different perspective than actually being behind a table and then trying to have to like facilitate the the deals and everything, and like thinking on your feet and everything. But I think I could definitely do that. I think that would be fun. I think I would thrive in that environment. I would have a blast. And it's like the other thing too is like you're just meeting people. There's business cards being thrown around. You're socializing with people. You're connecting over cards and different. I don't know, just the hobby in general. It was so much fun. It was so much
So
fun.
I mean, so what you're describing is basically how my weekend went because I was privileged enough to have a vendor badge because I think you know
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Tin or ten
Oh
tin.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh yeah.
Tin vends full time. He vends a lot, and he came up to this NTX show and he was like, hey. You want to do this show together? You want to get like your feet wet with vending or whatever, or you can just chill behind the table and you could just see, you know, excuse me, you could see how the sausage is being made, like that
Yeah.
saying, as the old saying goes. And so he's like, oh, by the way, I have a vendor badge if you want it, if you want it. That way, if you have room on another table or whatever, then you can just put your stuff out there. Um, but for the most part, I had my vendor badge on. I was just going table to table, just seeing how everybody was doing. And it's just like, dude, when you have that vendor badge, they treat you so different. Not in a bad way. It depends, but in a way where they're like, "Oh, you got that badge. You're one of us. How's your show going?" So it's like everybody is just like now you're on like the same wavelength of like, hey, like how are sales for you?
Yeah.
Are you doing good today? And
Yeah.
then
They
I'm like,
take you
oh,
more
I'm just
seriously.
yeah, they take you more seriously, and then you can have some interesting conversations and like and I could use it as like, oh, I'm just helping a buddy out, just first time doing this. It's like, oh yeah, man, like I've been doing this for this long, and not like normally this is the percentage that I'm taking, but other card shops here, and so you get a feel for how things are happening behind the table, right? So that was very interesting to me, and I met so many great people. Like I took so many business cards, like you're saying, so many business cards, so many social handles, and I really think it's good for networking. Like like especially for something like the rip and ship stuff that I'm doing. So I was able to connect with people and say, hey, like I'm rip and shipping. If you think you're able to supply me with some stuff in the future, like let me know. He's like, oh, for sure, dude. Like I'll let you know when we have deals going on, or if I have something that I've been sitting on for a while that I'm trying to offload, I'll definitely. So like I think that's another key to this success is kind of you gotta build your connects, you gotta build your plugs, you know, your pipelines and stuff like that. So that's where I think that's what I think shows are good for. Some people might argue that you don't need to go to shows to do that. That networking can happen, you know, I don't know, behind the computer or whatever. But there's just something about the added in-person touch that does it for me. So that's
Yeah,
good, man.
definitely.
I'm glad you went and experienced that because I know I had a blast. So if like I'm happy that you were able to do the same thing. So because it was fun. I enjoyed that part of it so much, and the time just flew. It was awesome.
Yeah, man. Does your fiance is she interested in kind of going and doing any of that kind of stuff?
So we joke because she's like, "Are you gonna stream? Are you gonna do this?" Basically, what she's saying is different from what she means. She's really
Okay.
asking, "Are you abandoning me tonight? Tonight? Are you not gonna spend time with me tonight?" And what I have to do is just be like, boom, and I just like show her the fruits of our labor, and she's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's really wow, that's great. Well, you should probably stream some more." And so, um, so that it's
Yeah.
funny. She's always been super supportive of the idea. But she's a little bit more reserved, a little bit more shy. But I think a goal of mine would be if we were ever to build this into something super serious, it would be cool for her to quit her bogus job and then just be here at home all day, maybe packing some orders and just having some of that financial freedom. You know, just
Yeah.
being able to do that, being able to support, like having this be able to support like her income, like supplement her income. That'd be awesome. Um, and as far as like the actual Pokemon thing goes, I think she's in denial. Pokopia came out and she's been in like ditto denial. We don't have a Switch 2 yet, but dude, so we were at the show, and that was another key thing. Like that, I would like people would see the vendor badge, like, "Oh, how's your show?" I was like, "Oh, dude, I'm just helping out a friend. I'm really looking for some Ditto cards." Like, "Oh, I got some here," and then that was almost like that was the icebreaker for me to get to know them better, and it
Oh, that's
worked.
cool.
And so like, and not so I left with some Ditto cards for sure. Like they're up here, and
Yeah.
I use that as like, oh, you like the hobby. You're not just another piece of shit scalper person.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
another thing that I was gonna say is like you're saying you're walking around, you're meeting new people, and you think you would thrive in it. I think you would thrive in it, and anybody could thrive in it, so long as you're not the person who I don't have a hat in here, but if I had like a snapback on and I'm in a hoodie and I'm just like this while you're trying to
Yeah.
while I'm coming up to your table and you can't acknowledge me like that that is about like
Oh, dude,
that's
we saw a couple of those people there for sure, and that was a turnoff. We just walked away, and it's just
oh
like, all
yeah,
right.
dude. It's crazy. Like I I would respect. I would approach your tape, and they would get me with this. So like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, all right, I'll come see your shit. I'll come look at what you got. And most of the time, they didn't have anything I was interested in. But the fact that they acknowledge you as another person, and they want to engage, and you see the excitement in their face that you're at their table, and I mean, like I said before, like laughter and smiling, that's infectious. So you gotta like you're you got to bring that positivity. You got to bring a certain energy to the table to be successful in this business. I feel, and that applies to like the rip and ships, and I guess maybe that's another reason why I feel like I do pretty decent at it is because we laugh and we have a good time.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
So I
awesome.
think if you can do that, I think you'd be great too. So let me know
Yeah,
if you
and
do that. That'd be awesome.
it doesn't even have to be big, right? And I feel like and I can't even say that I've researched because I've maybe Google searched a couple times, and we've seen that there's some shows and stuff like that around locally, but our area isn't like massive when it comes to shows. We're not like a big city area. It's like Rochester, Buffalo, upstate New York. So, we would probably just start small and just feel it out. And I think a big part of it too is like we would be able to do it together because she is I did pull her inner nerd out of her. I don't know if she's still watching this. She said she was going to tune in a little bit, but um, her favorites are just to name a few, like Stuffle is up there, like Squirtle's a big one, Charmander's a big one. Um, where's some other ones? Piplup is a big one. She loves Piplup. Um, yeah, she's got her favorites. She's got her favorites, and I think being able to do that with her, I think it would make it like that much more enjoyable. And I think we both
Yeah.
come to that conclusion that like it's something that we could definitely see ourselves doing. But time is a factor. You got to make time to go and do it. So
Yeah, no, 100%. Dude, and it just, with a full blown career, you always feel like you just never have enough time. Like, you work, you come home, take care of the duties here at home, and then like, I'll stream at around 9 sometimes, and that goes on to like midnight, and you're thinking, wow, I gotta get up in like 5, 6 hours. This is kind of grueling. So like, there's never enough time, to be honest. It's crazy.
it's a good thing though. Like if I do think about this, like if you think back to like where you first started, I think you'd probably be happy with where you are today, right? Like you know, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of speaking for you, but I know for myself, like I'm like, wow, this is like beyond what I could have ever comprehended in terms of like the opportunities and where we are.
Right. Yeah. And I no, yeah, definitely. I feel that way. And I think there's only room to grow, knowing, now you have like 2.5, 3 years of exposure to something. And I mean, you would think it's like, if you haven't learned anything by now, what are you doing if you're trying to take this seriously? So now, we have learned so much in this space, and I've been connected to so many great people, and I feel like like I said before, I don't think I've done everything in my power to make sure that, like little things that we can do, like set a set schedule for when we're streaming. There's absolutely low hanging fruit, um, but you wouldn't know those things unless you like, get started and get through it, and then you're able to identify what that low hanging fruit is. So definitely in a different spot than I was 2.5 years ago, and more. I think we have more of a plan, and there's more structure, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like now we're not just hoarding everything and just like, oh, it goes up, like I'll sell it in 5 to 10 years, which is what a lot of people still preach, which is fine if you're really committed to that, which is fine. But just know that there's other avenues and opportunities in the space than just doing that. And like, dude, people have they've made a killing on doing that,
Yeah.
Um, and so knowing
Yeah.
all those things and being exposed to all those things has been pretty rewarding.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I definitely like, I think just talking with you and talking with other people too, it's like, I think, I think being able to do both, right? So buy, I think if you're able to kind of separate and buy the stuff that you really believe in to sit for 5 years, but then like after you've kind of built this snowball up, like by the time you're buying stuff that you want to hold for 3 to 5 years, you're maybe already selling stuff that's already matured over the last 2 to 3 years. So it kind of like snowballs itself in a way. But also being able to kind of take a portion of that and put it into like a streaming service where like you're buying actively, but then you're not keeping that product. You're actively churning through it and reselling it, right? I think like those are the types of people and those are the types of businesses that have a hand in both of those things. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
effectively an LGS. That's
Yeah.
effectively an LGS, right? Because they're keeping stuff to the side, but then they're actively selling things. They're buying secondary market, marking it up, selling it again, and they have overhead and they have a lot of other things. They have employees, but like if you can find a way to balance that, I'm feeling more and more like that is like the best like optimized way to operate in this space right now, because I know even for myself, like there's sources and plugs that we have where we're getting product at like, call it 10, 15, 20% under market of like some hot items like Ascended Heroes ETBs, Prismatic ETBs, right? And it's like if I had an outlet to actively sell those, I probably would be, right? And
Right.
so like that's just like I'm not necessarily taking advantage of all the opportunities that are currently here because of the way I'm operating.
Yeah. That reminds me of another Band-Aid rip we did. So, we took some of the we took some of the money that we gained from like I don't know, like maybe a month or two from ripping shipping, and we allocated some of that to getting a bunch of Crown Zenith booster packs. And at the time, dude, I mean, this was like maybe 2 months ago. I got them at like 13.50 a pack. And I'm like, oh hell yeah, like this is gonna go in the closet. And then somebody comes on stream and they're like, how much Crown Zenith you got? Because I believe it or not, contrary to what people think, there are people in this space who are insane collectors. Like this is no, it means nothing to them to spend this type of money and have fun. That is what's fun to them. That is they have an entertainment budget that far exceeds yours. There's always going to be somebody with more. There's always going to be somebody with less.
Mm-hmm.
So, this person came in and said, hey, how much Crown Zenith do you have? I'm really chasing this thing. And I said, I have some, but I'm not really, I'm not wanting to sell it. And then, the next day after the stream, I asked myself, well, why? Why don't you want to sell it? And he's like, oh, well, it might go up. I'm like, or you could just take your earnings now and just do this again. Like this is in the matter of a month. Why wait however long, some arbitrary amount of time when you have a buyer now? And so even if you were to buy at like, 70% and you sell at market, I mean, there's your difference. I mean, obviously, Wix charges like 4% in platform fees, but that's what I'm saying is like, it's a quick flip and you do that multiple times in a year instead of one big one every, I don't know, 2-3 years. And
For
I
sure.
don't know, man, there's just opportunity there too.
Yeah. So you do, so I guess the way you're structured, you have people kind of buy your product in packs through Wix on your website, and then you kind of do it that way.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. And it works for me.
Yeah, no, I was just asking. Dude, I've seen like 47 different configurations of the way people handle their rip and chips, like from like doing it on YouTube and like PayPal friends and family and Zelle and like to
Yeah.
like people on TikTok and like whatnot and like I don't know if you ever given
Yeah.
that a thought. Like, would you ever, in order to like nix the percentage, like consider just accepting stuff via like PayPal friends and family or like Zelle or something?
So we have now, like once we have some well established repeat customers. Yeah, I've taken those deals because
Okay.
long story short, like Wix wasn't working, and
Okay.
they're like, oh, I can't buy, or like PayPal's not working. Can I just send it to you? Can I just wire it to you? And I'm just like, why not? Do you want friends and family or whatever? Like I trust you, and I'm like, oh yeah, sure. So I mean, one day maybe that bites me in the ass, but I guess what I'm saying is that yeah, we can absolutely kill some of those PayPal fees over time.
Yeah.
But in terms of like Whatnot, like man, Whatnot to me has always been very. I don't like the environment that Whatnot is. It's very It reminds me of like an auctioneer type of style, and so does TikTok. And I'm not, and maybe I can join that platform and just not do it the way they do it.
Hmm.
But it just seems like that's the environment. That's kind of the narrative you have to push to be successful over there. And I would only do it for the exposure on TikTok because, dude, people like if you're in the algorithm, if you're like doing everything you can to be a part of somebody's algorithm, then I think the exposure can be very rewarding. Whereas now we're just right now it's not any better. Like right now, I just go live and whoever comes in, and I'm just not as actively worried about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but there are other platforms that I've considered, and that's just part of, the low hanging fruit that we were talking about. Like, hey, like post every day on Instagram, and actually build out the TikTok, and maybe find other ways to put yourself out there. Like, yeah, um, and then like singles too. So I've actually sold singles to one of my customers who was like, oh, hey, like I really need that. Would you sell it to me? And I'm like, yeah, I guess I don't have to create a product idea. Like, yeah, you want it? Yeah, just buy it from me as if you were buying, like selling me or whatever. So, I mean, that's been cool too. But yeah, that's definitely what works for me. So I will multi-stream to YouTube and Twitch at the same time. Oddly enough, Twitch is not as like I don't see people coming in from Twitch a lot. I see YouTube people coming in way more. I think just because discoverability is just higher on YouTube. And so I'll stream to both those platforms at the same time, pin the links to the description, and then they buy. I only accept PayPal there. I don't accept credit cards because I'm very spooked of all
Mhm.
these chargeback stories.
Yep.
Even though I think you can charge back on PayPal, but nobody has yet, thank God. Um, and then that's all we do. We just accept. You go to the website, you check out through PayPal, and we have a PayPal business account just to kind of. I think it was to check a box for myself to give me the warm fuzzies to say, oh yeah, this is legit. This is a business. Here it is.
Yeah.
And then that's your. I think we did PayPal business because refunds were easier to process. It was like one click
Oh,
refunds, and you kind of want that if you're gonna refund shipping, because what I do, somebody will buy, and if they buy another order, then I refund their subsequent shipping fees so
all
that
right.
you only pay one rate.
Interesting.
Um,
So the shipping is another line item on there.
yeah,
Um, oh, okay.
and that's just what's worked for me. And I'm a believer of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. No, that's great, man. I'm glad to hear you're having success with the streaming and everything. And I have a feeling as we continue to kind of move forward over the next like 6, 12, 18 months, whatever, if we're still around, which I have a strong feeling we will be. I have a feeling there's going to be more opportunities that present themselves than uh, I would say fold, right? Like them.
Right.
So it's I you know what, it's mind boggling to me, like how it's kind of mind boggling to me to how like it just takes one event, it just takes one interaction to get somebody into this space, but then once they're in, it's like the opportunities are endless, and it's like you're just one interaction away, one like instance away from being, so from basically like just being able to kind of change, like I don't know what, a lot of things in your life, like and just giving yourself um more opportunities if you want to take it, right? Like, and I,
Yeah.
it makes me kind of wonder, it's like what else is out there, that we're also kind of missing the boat on, right? And I'm not saying I need to do everything, right? Because like time is finite, and you got to spend time with friends and family and everything, and it's not all about making money, but you know it's just so crazy because like I would have, again, I go back to earlier in the stream, like 10 years ago, if you told me I was going to be in Pokemon to this level and like doing this, I would have said you're crazy, and I would have laughed. I would have laughed.
Yeah.
Like, you just it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It, dude, like just what's like if you really like what's really mind-boggling is when you do go to these shows and just seeing the amount of cash flowing around, as if like if you didn't know any better, you walk into that environment, you're like, this has to be illegal. This has to be 100% illegal. Like there's no way. Like people are just making it rain, hooting and hollering. You're like, what's going on, dude? And it's like, and then I've seen some every subsequent show that I attend, I see even crazier and crazier shit. Like I met some dudes, very pleasant people, um, and I met them like, oh yeah, dude, like we just picked this up. Like we start talking about our childhood cards, and they're like, oh yeah, like, oh you like Lugia too? I was like, dude, I pulled a Neo Genesis Lugia when I was a kid. It's unlimited, but I treasure that card and I have it in the closet somewhere. And he's like, oh dude, check this out. And then the dude casually pulls out like a 9.5 BGS first edition Lugia, and I'm like, what is that? What does that go for? And he goes, oh, it goes for a few thousand, but check this out. And then he pulls like casually pulls out like a $12,000 Black Label Plasma Storm Lugia or some shit. And then so Tin came out, and one of his friends came out. I was like, oh hey, nice to meet you, blah blah blah. Like, what are you looking for? He's like, oh, I think I'm trying to trade up for a poncho. I'm like, yo, all right, like what do you got? He's like, oh, he pulls out his binder. He's like, oh, this is a collection from my childhood. This guy he had all the Japanese unlimited first edition sets of Team Rocket, vintage Team Rocket. So
Wow.
like he had a master set essentially.
Wow.
So he's like, oh yeah, like in order, there's a first edition Dark Charizard, Japanese Dark Charizard, and then like a regular unlimited Dark Charizard, and for the whole damn set. And I'm just looking at it thinking like, oh my god, dude, this is like my childhood, and just this binder. Like he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna try to see how much it's worth, and maybe we like just get that evaluated. I'm thinking, what would you even value that at, dude? Like a master set of that stuff? It's crazy, man. So
Yeah.
you talk about wild times.
Yeah, man.
That was definitely a moment for me.
Yeah, Pokey Dip and the Booster Boys cards feels like a damn drug house. That's kind of what I was thinking. It just feels it's just crazy. And yeah, 2 weeks ago in New Jersey and saying, yeah, that I think like I had said it had to have been in the millions, the amount of like money, cards, trades that were going on in Syracuse. And then like the amount of children that are walking around with thousands of dollars in their binders and graded cards. It's like we were not doing that when we were kids. We had a dented up base set Charizard that we were trading for, a different card because it had a higher HP or something, right? We didn't know what left from right. Like kids today are way more in this hobby and way deeper in like the value and everything than we were when we were growing up. We just collected it, right? Like we enjoyed it way different. Like nowadays it's like these kids are probably going to be hooked for life, and they're never going away.
Yeah.
Like they're never going to take that like high school college hiatus because it's not cool. It's like they're making money.
Yeah, dude.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I saw, and to the opposite side. Well, maybe it's on the same wavelength, but seeing how many, like, so we witnessed a moment for some of these kids where they're just like, oh, you know what, that's probably the moment that he got hooked. And you see like him and his dad sharing a moment. So long story short, the kid spent $9 on a random pack from a vending machine and got a Twilight Masquerade, and he pulls the Greninja.
Of course.
He's like, oh my god, blah blah blah. Pulls the Greninja, and then he's like, oh, you want to trade for it or whatever. So he ends up, his $9 turns into this badass sealed product because he sells the card back. And his dad's like, oh, that's pretty cool. Is it really worth that much? Like, oh, dad, yes. And so you see them sharing a moment, and that's kind of cool to see, like that you were being like that you were actively a part of that stuff too. And kids, man, as we start aging a little bit, I'm getting this soft spot for kids. And I like seeing them. No, some kids are freaking like hustlers, dude. Like some will just interrupt the conversation, like just without a care in the world. They're like, hey, I'm doing a trade up challenge, and they're like, oh, I'm not doing that. He's like, all right, later. like all right, whatever, loser. And then they just leave,
dude. That
and then
happened. That happened no less than 5 times when we were there. Like they would just walk. Like bro. I'm actively in the middle of a deal with someone, and a kid will just come up and start talking, which is fine. It's 10-year-old.
They're kids. Yeah.
It's just funny though. Like they're so excited.
It's hilarious, dude.
They're so excited.
And then there's the other little kids. They come with their their little binder and they're clutching it. They're like, "Do you take trades?" And then they're like, "Ah, like a little girl is like, I like that Clefairy or whatever. Do you take trades?" And then like that's cool to see. I like seeing like the wholesome interactions, but like these dude, yeah. Oh, everybody's saying that kids are insane hustlers. Dude, they are. Once they know that people will give them more value and they have a goal in mind, it's over.
Dude, I'm
They're,
telling you,
they're
if Pokemon continues even on 25-50% of the trajectory that we've been going, right? Like the kids who are in it today are gonna I mean, they're gonna outpace any career they could possibly have. Like if they're just if they just stay a part of this and they're just like in this, like this will be their career. If it
yeah.
continues to be what it's been, like I just feel I just feel like those kids now who are so in it and they just love it, like if Pokemon sticks around and it continues to be what it is, uh, it's crazy what some of these kids are gonna end up with.
Like and I don't know what I don't know what would lead them to like not continue with this success because now I'm trying to think of IPs that are older than Pokemon and the only thing right now I can think of is like Marvel comic books or Marvel characters and stuff
Yeah,
like that's
One Piece,
like
Dragon Ball Z,
just yeah like
Dragon
things
Ball.
like that and how big that is
Yeah,
so like and now we're on what Gen 10 is that where we're at Generation 10 winning
yeah,
waves.
Gen 10. Yeah, Gen
I
10.
mean
Yeah.
honestly what that's the formula. Pump out a game every 3 4 years and just let it ride. And I mean, and understand like we think the games suck, but at the end of the day, like we're not the target audience. So I feel like the games are always gonna be the games are probably gonna outlive us. Who knows? In
I
all
do I
honesty.
do think I do think Pokemon is really I think they're a lot smarter than we give them credit for. And I think they know like the they need like the father son interaction. They need the mother daughter interactions like and then they need that to go like tri-generational and they need like our kids right to
Right.
also enjoy and partake in that and like I think they're just so long-term driven. They're just such a
Yeah.
long-term driven company and I think it shows in like the way they don't overprint their products, right? And that's like subjective, but I don't think they overprint their stuff, right? I think they print it, they have a schedule, maybe they see that things are not being met like in terms of demand and then they'll add another couple of reprints like prismatic ascended heroes like the specialty sets but eventually they stop printing this stuff. It's not like WotC, it's not like Magic the Gathering, right? Like and all the horrors that I've heard about them and dumping product and killing the
Yeah,
killing the
dude.
secondary market price. Like they believe I think they believe in the long-term trajectory of their IP more than probably anybody else. So
Yeah. No, 100. I mean, dude, you don't stay on top by being lucky.
right.
Like that.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
they obviously have figured this out. And isn't it called a collectible trading card game first and foremost? Like, well, trading card game first and foremost, but
Yeah.
was it called that at one point? Collectible trading card game? Let me see.
Oh,
It's a
I don't know.
Pixel. But I mean, their logo is like, I mean, well, yeah, right here. I mean, you gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all. Like,
They know what they're doing.
so exactly. They absolutely know what they're doing.
They are very proactive and they already know what they're going to do probably in Gen 11 and 12 and knowing them.
Right.
At least the
What kind
design.
of gets me
Like,
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say what gets me burnt out, really, or just like what makes me roll my eyes faster than anything is just when people go on this long, drawn out conversation of what they think Pokemon needs to do, or where they dive deep into the nitty gritty of like, oh, like what was one conversation I saw the other day? Something about cars. Like, no, it's an acronym or CAGs or what is that acronym? It's like a finance acronym. Is it cars? Let me look it up
I'm
real
not
quick.
sure.
Cars. Like basically, it's gonna drive me insane. Cars acronym. But essentially, just like you're going on this long-winded finance business, trip about why you think Pokemon shouldn't print as much as they should, and why you think it's gonna hurt at the end of the day. And I'm just like, bro, it is not that serious. Like, it's a game, it's a card game. If you don't like it, you don't have to partake, my man. Like, I mean, you can have your opinion all day, but my God, imagine all the effort that you put forth on this whole story. You could go do something that's really productive, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not that deep. It's just not that it's not that deep, but it's gonna drive me insane what that acronym means, man.
Yeah, and unfortunately,
Oh,
there's with all the the boom and the craziness, it's going to bring a lot of negativity, and it's going to bring that side of things in, right? That side of people in, and we don't have to get down that whole rabbit hole, but it's the
yeah.
unfortunate reality.
I never really understood. I never really understood the negativity. Like I like what could you think? Like, is there anything you could think of that would make you be like, like why are they doing that, or that doesn't make sense, or just anything negative to say about
So
the hobby?
so I think the only thing, like, I don't know, it's we're at a point where you just can't stop the scalping. Like, the scalping is going to happen. But in my mind, scalping
Right.
is a Pokemon problem, not a scalper problem. Like, the scalpers are just scalping because it's legal. They can do it. Like, if they're not going to do it, somebody else is going to scalp it. So it's a free market. It is what it is. But I think where I have a problem is if, like, you're in line and you're like waiting for someone to restock a shelf, and you have like a 10-year-old kid behind you, and you purposely go
Yeah.
into everything. That's when I have a little bit of a problem with that. It's like, dude, it's do you real I don't know, man. That's where I have a problem. Um
Yeah, like for me, like scalping. So, like if you go to a show and you see somebody who has a crap ton of product at their shelf, and you just assume that they've scalped it or that they bought it or whatever, I'm just like, I mean, maybe I don't know. Don't support that person. I don't know what to tell you, but to get upset about it just doesn't sound like a good use of your energy. But I do have a problem if you push like an 8-year-old out of the way to make your quick, I don't know, like 25, $50. Like, go get a job, bro. Chill out.
I think that's for me. It's more of a situation that I have an issue with, not necessarily like the scalping part of it or like the botting part of it, because like that's always going to happen. And like you said, you can choose to support people or not support people with your money, and you don't have to participate in that. But I think it's more just the situational awareness of, like, okay, here's this kid. He's with his father or his mother. He just wants a pack of cards to open. It's like, you don't have to take everything. You don't have to take
No,
everything.
like you
Like,
don't like, dude. Like, be be a human. Like for
yeah,
just a
yeah,
minute. Like it costs nothing to be kind, bro. You're gonna be okay if you have one less box, man.
yeah,
Oh my gosh,
yeah. So that's the only
it's
thing I can say is, like, that's like it's a situational thing, less about like what's going on. Like, what's going on is just a function of the market, and it's a free market. It
yeah.
is what it is. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe that is my one thing also that I have a problem with. It's just like, but that to me just goes back to, so I don't have a lot of like moral standards really, or like I'm not a super religious person or anything like that, but I just, there's one golden rule, and it kind of just applies to everything in my eyes. Is just treat others with respect, treat others how you want to be treated, and it boils down to don't be a dick, right? So
Yeah.
if you're breaking that, then it's just like, then yeah, I have a problem with that.
Good words to live
But
by. Don't be a dick.
right, don't be
Like,
just don't be a dick.
don't be a dick.
And I mean, I think it could go well for a lot of people if they just try not to do that.
I mean,
That's
well
that's
said.
my
Like,
spiel.
yeah, that's yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
I
man.
concur.
Something interesting is happening down the road. My lady is texting me saying, "Hey, FYI, I just saw 5 fire trucks
Uh-oh.
going down the road." And then she sends me a text about like what's happening in our local town, I guess community Facebook group. And apparently, there's a structural fire down the street, and I'm like I saw our street name. I was like, well, it's not here, so
The
it's
roof's
not here.
still
And
over
again,
my
I can't hear anything with these with the pros because
head.
everything's
Yeah.
just like noise canceled. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I kind of sucks. But everybody's like, prayers for you and your family, blah blah blah. And I'm thinking, I might need to peek out this window.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, let me just do that real quick. Let me just
Yeah.
peek out this window and see what's going on. And let me talk to the lady just to make sure she's not freaked out real quick. And I'll be right back.
All right. Oh, let's take a look while we got some time. We are probably going to wrap up soon, but I'm going to go ahead and just add TCG player to. We're going to take a look at some prices of some more recent sets. I'm curious because so Phantasmal Flames look like it's still hovering about around $400. Dude, how is this card so expensive? So Spanish for 800, lowest listed about 830, no name seller. Closest named seller about $860. I mean, this card is gonna. I don't know. This is just this card is completely blowing away expectations. I fully expected this card when I saw it to do well. I did not expect it to do. I did not expect it to do this well. Yeah, Pokedip, I completely agree. I think it's the best. I've said this, and I understand my take is not the only take. Uh, don't get me wrong. I'm not. This is not a novel thought, but um, this is the best Charizard artwork we've ever had. This is the best artwork we have ever had. Um, I stand by that. It's obviously subjective, but yeah, Hidden Potion. I'm of the same opinion. I expected this thing to drop to like 300, $400. It's a little insane to me. Um, you know, it it just goes to show like the demand is off the charts for this card, and like the amount of Phantasmal that's being ripped. Like to if we go back to Phantasmal for a second and just look at the booster box sell through rate, I'm actually interested to see what that looks like, because I have to imagine it is completely tied to that card. Like there's an average of 11. Like let's say there's an average of about $5,000 of Phantasmal single booster boxes moving through TCG Player a day, which is pretty insane. Um, and then if we go back and we look at the cases, so that's 5,000 in just like single boxes. So let's take a look at how many cases. I'm guessing the case count maybe is one a day. Um, wow, 7 a day. Holy crap. Yeah, I mean, guys, this set is moving. This set is moving. I'm glad I went out and bought a few of these at like 1,200 when it first released, because I I don't know. It's pretty wild. Um, yeah, since singles usually drop in price for a bit, but there has been too many Phantasmal restocks. Yeah, yeah. I have a feeling they're going to reprint this set. I just do. I have a feeling they're going to reprint it.
What are we looking at?
I was just looking at Phantasmal. I was just gonna start looking at like some prices and stuff of different sets, and I started with Phantasmal, and we were looking at the Charizard, and it's just like that card is.
It's insane.
Oh, I just I we were lucky enough to pull it, um, but and I send it in for grading, even though it's not going to get a 10. But I just want to encapsulate it and just keep it, and it's a memory, right? Because I can't tell you the last time I pulled a giant chase card like that. So,
Yeah.
um,
Oh, dude,
it's
that's
just
another cool thing about the ripping ships is like you getting uh it's like you can scratch that itch when it comes to pulling packs. And we've pulled some dude, we pulled some heat. There was one day that they went on Alex's stream and they pulled the Bubble Mew. Then
oh
they came to
okay.
my stream and pulled another one in like the span of an hour on April Fool's Day of all days.
Oh
It
my
was
god.
insane. And then like a week, guys, like maybe 2 weeks later, we're just talking shit. Like he's buying some Sword and Shield packs, and he's like, "Oh, it'd be cool if we can get the Lugia." And me thinking like, "Oh, that would be awesome," but the hit rates are a little worse. Sword and Shield's not that fun to open, and so
Yeah.
I think we're on the last pack, and then just boom, 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 bam, we pull the Lugia, and I'm like, "Oh god, like oh, this is awesome." It's definitely like I've been able to scratch that ripping itch by running this operation. That's just another plus on my end. And it feels good. It feels good when you're able to pull somebody some nice stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing. I feel like that would be fun, just to be able to pull some
Yeah.
like amazing cards. Um, yeah, so this is not the Galarian Gallery set, but yeah, this peak, dude, it's so crazy how much like these cards have appreciated in value. Like I remember this Pikachu was at like $20 for the longest time, 20-30 bucks. Um,
Yeah.
I want to look at
Are
the
you looking
Galarian
at
Gallery because I think the Mewtwo. Yeah,
Oh, dude,
so a
there's so
while
many cards
ago,
in that gallery. Like
a
even the
while ago,
IRs.
I made a prediction like this was like under 200. I was like, this is going to be the most expensive card in the set. Like, mark my words. And I was like, not to toot my own horn, but it kind of seems obvious. Like, this has got to be like it's a Dragon Ball Z themed Mewtwo. Like, this is, and honestly, I should have bought a couple copies because this thing is freaking sweet. Like to this day, I think this is like one of my favorite cards, and I don't own it. Like that, like
These
look
are
at this
mine.
card. Like that is so cool. That is so
I was
cool.
so sad when these got toppled by the Mewtwo.
Oh
I
no.
got
Sorry.
I got two of these in the 10, man. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Are they PSA 10s?
Yeah, they are. I Yeah, it was awesome. I pulled them on Alex's stream and we pulled them on Alex's stream and then we submitted them and then got them back like freaking 4 or 5 months later.
Yeah.
And the card shop owner was like, "Oh man, just PSA's been really tough lately." And I was like, "All right, cool." And then he hands me them and they're both 10s. I was like, "Oh, you freaking oh man, you got me. You tricked me. Phony." It was
Yeah.
awesome.
I just sent in, like, I split them all up too this time because the last time I
Hmm.
sent in one submission, I got wrecked because it was like
Nice.
200 something card submission. So I sent like 7 or 8 submissions at like 20 to 40 cards a piece just to break them up. Um,
Hmm.
but I'm probably not getting them back till August, September. So yeah, dude,
I
Crown
mean,
needed
hopefully they moved up,
24 bucks a
dude.
piece.
Yeah, I and it's so fun to open also. Like there's so many good cards in there too. Like there what's another card? Like the Deoxys, even the IRs like the regular full art Deoxys and the
Yeah,
Latias cards. Those are now about what, like 15-20 bucks.
dude, this Pikachu's $50.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. There's just it just things happen. It just
Dude, there's too much to keep track of. How is that Pikachu $50? That the Lapras
it's
is 50.
Pikachu.
Holy
Yeah.
crap, dude.
what I was doing too is I took a bunch of these singles to the show, and so I was pricing them like in real time, and I thought to myself like, if I saw a bunch of IR cards, like there's a bunch of SIRs that are priced 20 and under, and that to me just seems so undervalued. But if cards were like $40, I'm like, you know what, let's just let that go. Because to me, it seems more logical for a card to go from 5 to $20 than from like, 20 to 40.
100%. A hundred
That's so
percent.
that's kind of what I was doing. So like the horsey from Shrouded Fable, that
Mm-hmm.
card's like $44 now, and it's just a regular IR, I think. So I'm like, you know what? How much further can that card go? Like it looks cute, but like you'll see what I'm talking about. And that's just another thing that you learn by just constant exposure in the hobby and stuff. So that was pretty cool to know. Cool to see. I mean, um, and
I'm
like
sure
the
Pokey
Sprigga.
Dip's sitting on cases of Crowns and Zenith ETVs.
Yeah, go ahead. I think.
Oh my God, $45.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, what's fun too is like it's there's almost like too much to try to keep track of. Um,
Yeah.
and like I feel like every time I look through this stuff, I'm just like blown away at a lot of these prices.
The Horsey's more than the Houndoom?
Apparently,
What?
this is a really cool card. This is a card that like we were, oh my God, 25 cases. Damn, dude.
That's wild. Oh, so I was on this Ditto hunt, right? And then like I went to one table and I said, "Hey, how much do you want for the Ditto, the Paldean Fates Ditto?" They're like, "Oh, 35." I'm like, "Oh, all right, I'll keep looking." Then I came back and I said, "Hey, would you take this in trade or whatever?" It was a prismatic booster bundle. They're like, "Oh yeah, I'll do that trade." And I was like, "No, like and $30 because you said it was
Yeah.
35." Oh, I actually like misquoted it, man. It's actually like $60 now. I'm like, what? So like the Pocopia game is just throwing all these. I had a hard time finding Dittos, dude. Everybody was saying like, oh, dude, like everybody wants Ditto today. I just can't keep it long enough. I'm thinking, damn, dude. So
Man.
it's just, and this
What is
this is
the
always happening.
what is the most expensive Ditto card?
Probably the I would imagine it's the what is it? Maybe the Delta Species one?
Yeah, it looks like there's some weird promo. Like,
Maybe. I
damn.
almost bought one in a PSA 7
Oh
just cuz
no, it looks like
that's.
the fire red leaf green
Oh,
hollow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go. We have,
Which is
what did we
hard
pick
to,
up?
kind of hard to believe. Um, like a reverse hollow Skyridge Ditto is going to be more expensive than that.
Oh, here we go. This is the we picked up a very clean Koga's Ditto, like a vintage Koga's Ditto. This was $25. It's pretty clean. It's nice.
Oh, nice.
And then these are probably my
Oh
favorite
yeah.
Ditto. They're like the most derpiest ones. They're pretty clean. There you go. See, oh my God, these $45. Like I paid like
Oh my God.
30, I paid
Yeah.
30, 31, and like 36.
Dude, I thought I had a bunch of those sitting around.
you you better check.
No, dude, all these, I kid you not, I have a whole bunch of these like non-hollow Ditto variants from Delta species. I have a whole bunch of them. I'm not
I
saying they're
think
like,
I think those are still worth a considerable amount,
yeah, it looks like they're like, well,
and
these
people want them.
are card type, yeah, printing, normal. Yeah, yeah, this is it's crazy, man. You gotta like pay attention or else you're gonna miss some of these
Oh, dude, I got shafted.
What happened?
Oh, what a jerk. So I'm looking at the prize pack series ditto. He wanted he wanted $20. So I said, all right, cool. It's worth $10.
Oh, where am I?
It's
Oh,
you'll
it's on.
see it. Let's yeah. It's on the so I'm looking, I was like, where's the $20 ditto that this guy keeps talking about?
Oh, right here. The was it
Yeah,
the
that
51
one.
ditto?
Yeah. I got shafted. This guy. Oh, I'll remember him. Freaking liar.
What did he tell you it was worth?
He's like, hey, you know what these are? I was like, yeah, they look like they're for price pack. Yeah, like I won these in a tournament. I was like, what are you asking? $20. I'm like, oh, all right. And my idiot self didn't even like double check it because I was like, oh, ditto. Man, I'm gonna get that guy. I'm gonna get
To
that
be
guy.
fair, I see that going up though.
I hope so.
It's a cool.
But
It's
it's for the PC. It's for the PC for the ladies. So I mean, it's like,
yeah.
stupid guy. You got me.
Man. All
Yeah.
right.
So I mean, so I'm enjoying it, man. I'm enjoying the space. Definitely not. I'm like, I wouldn't say, I don't want to say I'm not taking it as serious, but the things that I thought were serious before, they're not. Like, I'm not looking to like hold on all this stuff forever, or I'm not like stressing about what I need to keep, what I need to sell. It's just, I think you just gotta, if your mind is cluttered and you have all these thoughts, just take a pen to a paper, write down your goals, and then just figure out what simple steps are in the most simplest of terms. How do you need to get to that goal,
Mhm.
and how does this space get you there if this is what you want to do? Um, and I think it is hard to just kind of just be a collector, just be a seller or a buyer or a vendor and a trader, whatever you want to call it. I think it's when you're in this space, you have to, if you're not a little bit of everything, you at least need to have the perspective of every, different group, I feel.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I completely agree, and um, yeah, I think it all starts from the end, right? Like to your point,
Hmm.
going back to like putting pen to the paper and like writing down the goal where do you want to be. Um, it all kind of starts from the end, and then you need to work back to where you are today and figure out what steps you need to take to get to wherever you want to get to. So I completely agree with that sentiment, and I think that based on the conversation tonight you and I have had, I think we're both on our way to at least taking some concrete steps to helping ourselves. I think I think we're both um, I guess on the same page in terms of like why we're here, and like yes, we enjoy the space, yes, like there's all these intangibles that we're getting out of being here, but ultimately we want to help our family, we want to be financially free, we want to have more options and more freedom to choose what we want to do when we want to do it, and I
Hmm.
think I think this is going to help us get there.
I mean, I can only try, and that
Yeah,
that's what we're
yeah,
that's what we're hoping for sure.
yeah,
And
yeah,
if not, just sell everything in the closet and
yeah,
Get a nice Prius, paint it
yeah,
yellow, put some Pikachu ears on it, and
yeah.
say
There you
this,
go.
and this is what you have to show for it. It's not a
Yep,
bad deal.
I like it.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, man, we're on the 2 hour mark. We went 2 hours. That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think
Yeah,
so.
and I
That's too
think I think we're
crazy.
gonna have to do this again. Like we're gonna have
Oh,
to,
I'm down. Absolutely.
even if
And I
it's not.
think
Oh, I was just gonna say,
what's
even if it's not weekly, bi-weekly, you know, maybe like once a month, every couple months, whatever. I think it'd be good to just hop on and do a catch up and see what's going on and talk through lessons learned and what we've been kind of seeing.
No, yeah, that I mean that'd be great for me regardless, like that's I think that'd be great for anybody just to kind of every so often just recap and see if you've pivoted any and just kind of have some self-awareness for yourself. I think is important too. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, I'd be down to do this again for sure. I was a little
So,
nervous at first because I'm thinking, man, there's no structure and stuff, and that's kind of where you just let go and say it doesn't have to be right. It's
right.
just talk your opinions and just
Hmm.
just just put pen to paper, so to speak, and it's a good time.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. I enjoyed this, and you know, I don't know. For everybody who's still watching, I appreciate you guys sticking around and listening to us kind of ramble, have some conversations, talk about some stories. Have some fun with us. So yeah, I think that's all I got. Anything else before we shut it down?
I don't. I mean, I don't know. I could plug the channel if you're cool with that.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And I
Yeah,
can
like,
uh I can throw it in the description as well too.
oh yeah, that'd be great. Guys, if anybody's interested, guys and gals, if you're interested in partaking in some of the tomfoolery, the pack ripping parties, you can catch me on Future Sight Games at about 9 o'clock Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We like to have a little bit of fun there. We're opening all kinds of modern packs, and we goof off and have a good time. And hopefully in the future, there's more things to come. I want to incorporate like giveaways and things like that just to help the channel grow. Maybe offer some incentives for that. But yeah, and then we also have a Discord that if you go to the YouTube channel, you might catch the Discord link over there because I'm not sure I know. I don't have this the Discord handle
Yeah.
handy. So you're just
Yeah.
gonna have to go over there if you really want it. If you really want it, I'm gonna make you work for it. How about that?
Yeah, man.
But yeah, let
All
me
right,
uh
well,
let me see if this
everybody go
works.
go check out Fernando's stuff and yeah, there you go. And I'll put that in the video description after it gets published here. And yeah, as always, thank you everybody for sticking around. Fernando, it was great talking to you, man. And
Absolutely,
yeah,
buddy.
that's a wrap. Thanks everyone.